Welcome everyone to Javaras. Let's continue our discussion on securing single page applications with Spring Security. So far, we have initialized this simple Spring plus Angular project with Spring Security, added some routing, added custom login form to authenticate users, handled session management, handled CSRF token, and implemented logout functionality. If you have not watched previous videos in this series, I highly recommend you to watch them first. I will put the link to the playlist and previous video in the description. You can find the code in this repository. Select a specific branch to view code related to that video only. You can find the link to this repository in description. This is what we have done so far. If we go to localhost 8081, we see login page since we are not authenticated. After logging in with correct username and password, we are redirected to bank page where we can transfer money to other account and we can click on logout to log out of the app. All of this is working fine. In this video, we will create a separate resource server which will provide and secure all the resources. The current Spring server will have the job to authenticate the user. Initially, the resource server will not secure the resources. Later, we will add security to it. Let's close the running app. Now to create a new Spring server, go to start.spring.io website, which is Spring Initializer. For build tool, let's choose Gradle Groovy. Spring Boot version will be 3.1.1. For group, I will choose dev.javaras. Artifact will be resource server. And packaging will be jar. Java version will be 17. Let's click on generate. Before go to add the web dependency, let's add the web dependency here. Web and click on generate here. Let's open the terminal and go to root directory. Here we can see two files. Let's remove the first one and I will rename this second file. Let's unzip it and remove the zip file. Now in our root directory we have two projects, one for UI which is front end and one is resource server. Let's open the root directory in IDE. I'm using IntelliJ IDEA. You can use any IDE you want. Click on open and I will open this root directory which contains both front end and resource server projects. Click on open. Now we will wait for Maven and Gradle build to finish. Now let's build the Angular app in watch mode using terminal. Go to front end and client, run npm run watch. Run the front end Spring server as well. Go to front end, src main java and main class and run the server. This front end Spring server is running on port 8080 and I want resource server to run on port 8082. Let's configure that. In the resource server, go to application.properties file and specify server.port here. Server.port 808 and let's start this server as well. Resource server application and run it. So it will start on port 8082. Now let's go to the browser to verify whether the resource server is running or not. For that, let's go to browser, localhost 8082, and we can see wide level error page. That means resource server is working. We are getting this error because we have not defined any endpoints in resource server. So let's create a controller in resource server. Right click here and click create new class. I want to create a controller in controller package with the name demo controller. So class name will be controller. This is package name dot demo controller. and let's mark it as REST controller, and let's give it a mapping, request mapping, demo. Let's create a method inside this controller which will return a map of string. Let's just say hello. Let's just return map dot of text, and the value will be hello world. Let's put get mapping annotation to hello. So anyone will be able to access this with a get request to demo hello this path. Let's restart this resource server application. Go to the browser and send request to this path demo hello, and we can see the response here. That means the controller is working fine. Now we will create a button in Angular app which will send request to this endpoint. Let's go to the IDE in the client. Let's add the button along with the logout button only. So go to src app.component.html, copy the code of logout button and replace this logout with, let's say hello, and replace the method with say hello as well. Go to app.component.ts, create a method called say hello. It won't return anything, and we need to send a get request to that endpoint. We can use HTTP client for that. This dot HTTP dot, since this is a get request, and what we will get back is an object with a property called text, and its type will be string. Now here will be URL. Now earlier we just specified the resource URL. We did not specify the domain, but now since the domain will be different, we need to specify domain as well. So HTTP localhost 8082. Since our resource server is running on 8082, then demo, then hello, and let's just subscribe. Whenever we will get a value, we will just alert. So we just want to alert whatever we get will be value dot text. That's it. And since Angular is running in watch mode, it will be rebuilt automatically. Now let's go to the Angular app, open a new private window, go to localhost 8081. Why are we getting the pop-up? We should not get the pop-up. So let's rebuild the Angular app. Okay. Now refresh it. Not working. Private window 081. Let's restart the front end server. Restart the front end server. Okay, now let's go to 8081. Now we need to enter username and password. Let's enter username, password here. Okay, and go to inspect network tab. Let's click on say hello button. Now we can see that we are getting some error. It did not work, and why is that? There are two origins, one who is sending the request and the other who is receiving the request. In this case, the sender is Angular app, which has origin HTTP localhost 8081, and the second origin is resource server's domain, which is HTTP localhost 8082. Now, since these two origins are not same, the browser tries to negotiate with the receiver, or in this case, the resource server, to find out if the sender is allowed to access the resource according to the cross origin resource sharing or CORS protocol, and the server does not allow other origins to access any resource by default. So we need to tell resource server to allow request from one or more origins, and you can find more information about course here. I will put the link in the description. Let's go to the demo controller of the resource server. Annotate say hello method with cross origin annotation and specify the origins from where we want to send the request. We can specify one or more origins here, but in this case, let's specify the domain of Angular app, which is localhost 8081, and restart the resource server. Let's restart it, and we don't need to change anything at Angular app. So let's just send the request again. Now you can see we get the alert called hello world, and in the response as well we can see we are getting hello world text. Now let's add security to resource server. It is very easy. Just add Spring Security Starter dependency in builder.gradle file. So I will open builder.gradle file, which is this one, build.gradle file. And in the dependencies, after web dependency, I will add another dependency implementation or spring framework.boot spring boot starter security. That's it. And let's refresh the Gradle. Gradle has downloaded all the dependencies. Now let's restart the resource server application. Now open localhost 8082 demo hello and refresh it. Now we can see we are prompt to login because we are not logged in. So the username will be user. Since this is different from the front end server, so here the username and password will be different. The username is user and the password will be this one, which you can find in the logs. Let's copy paste the password, click on sign in, and we can see the response here text hello world. Now let's send the request from Angular app to the resource server. If we click on say hello button in Angular app as well, we get the error. Now how to resolve this error, that we will see in the next video. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.